Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever we find you. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing? Well, we have another Sunday night gap down. Let's see if we fill that gap today, or whether or not it takes a couple of days, or I guess that depends on the news cycle and inventory, right? So, yesterday in the room, I didn't do a weekend update video. I just didn't know how this was going to impact everything, so I thought I'll let it trade today and then do an update video for tomorrow. Take a look at some stocks as well because we want to see how things kind of shake out over the next couple of days. The news cycle is going to bring some volatility. Let's go take a look and see what everyone's doing. Hey, Raj, Attila, Josh, Ramon, everyone's back from the weekend. Let's check it out. Let's see what we're looking for here. Well, we had on a larger time frame, we've done a look below and fail of 67.88. And that's really for the large traders who are looking to go long, or who are long. That's your line in the sand. If we can stay above 67.88 this week in RTH today, and this week we might do one of these in RTH, but that's a big level for us. We opened gap down. We came into the big gap here, found buying straight up. This seems to be a trend. The market will go up Friday. There'll be weird news on the weekend, gap down, grab a bunch of cheap inventory and do this again. It allows the people who got caught short on Friday, in these couple of sessions, it allows them to come in and do some covering. I think we're going to see quite a bit of this, gap up, gap down, that kind of thing. On the daily, we are trading just a little bit above that 200, above 68.07. Let's see if we stay above that. Yeah, we're going to see, Raj. We'll see. I won't say anything, and I know I sound wishy-washy, but, when you have a, World War III going on, or the start of it, whatever they call this war, your order flow is not going to be very reliable. Let's see what happens. The value, as Raj said, the value area of tonight is above the value area from the move that got thrown up. That tells you something. The position is here. Now, remember that the close of Friday is here. So our inventory is 100% short. Okay, but it's gapped down and 100% short. So let's see. How do we trade this? Well, margins have just come back to normal. Let's go see. I left these single prints here in green. I mean, if we open underneath them, they're invalid. So I left them there to see whether or not we could get up into that area. We kind of poked our head into it, but came right back. The overnight point of control has moved from 68.03 all the way up to the 14s. Decent distribution tonight. in tonight's profile, you could see, and this is very strange. Market profile, this kind of stuff is what freaks out market profile people, is that you've got a gap down, right? Yeah, exactly, spam. You got a gap down, but then you have single prints and a short position in the overnight profile. So I explained that. I think I finally found a way to explain time frame and this short business. You see, people here under 68.12, that's the most fresh short position. Then the next short position is here under 6800. The next short position, we're talking aged, you know. So in this profile, the oldest shorts are down here, and the newest short position is here, right? So that's what you want to look for. Because even though inventory is short, we do have supply above us. We have this day and this day of supply, right? So just something to be aware of, you know, something to be aware of. I have no clue what's going to happen when this thing opens. So what I do is we just trade the levels, right? I used a balance level from a distribution balance. There's the original accumulation balance is here. See, that's from the gap down. You could have used that if you were trading earlier. I used this distribution balance, 6,800 to 7, right? And we double it up to 68.19. We went all the way up into the 30s. Couldn't hold that back down. Nice look below and fail of 68.07. And we're above that 68.21. I marked this level off. I'm curious to see if we hold that level at all today or if it's at all responsive. We'll see. So we are in 4 times distribution when the market opens. Remember that? Positions underneath us. So let's see what happens when this thing gets opened. No predictions at all, my friends, today. I'm not going to make any predictions. Monday, gap down. Let's see what happens. Margins are back to normal, so we've got some more people who can play. What do we have for lots of news this week? Let's take a look. Oh, nothing today. Home sales tomorrow. Core PPI tomorrow. Wednesday, import price index. Jobless claims Thursday. Friday we got Fed speakers. Not that much going on. Let's stock out our trades. So those of you who are short right now, say you shorted 23, 24, right? Your stop's going to be 25 and 3/4. You're looking to see if we can break this. I don't know. I'll see if I'll keep this here. See if 21 and 3/4 bids. Yeah, it does bid. Look at that. It's an interesting level. Hey, Anne-Marie, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, Stuart, you're trading, are you trading CFDs? Are you trading on the spread betting thing? I didn't know that when we spoke earlier. You're not actually trading futures? Thanks, Anne-Marie. Yeah, we'll have to get you switched over to trading a proper futures account. Spread betting and that kind of stuff is tough because they, you're trading against the brokerage firm's algorithm, which it's okay. You can make a little bit of money, but once you start trading any kind of size, they will wipe you out. No, actually, Stuart, you could probably trade a funded trader account, right? You could use like Take Profit or Top Step or one of the trading firms. I'd do that if I were you. Well, and if you were short, you'd be stopped out right now. So there's bids. We've got bids. Okay, we got bids. Good to know. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a. It's funny in the UK they always tell you, oh yeah, you don't have to pay taxes on spread betting, but what they don't tell you is nobody makes any money doing it. I've had friends just completely taken out to the woodshed using that stuff. I would use, if I was starting trading today, I would definitely take advantage of prop trading accounts. You know, 30, 40 bucks a month, you get to trade a couple of grand, get to learn some discipline, get yourself some payouts. So that's interesting. So seem to be finding bids. I think we're going to take a little run to that overnight high. Yeah, it's a good route. It's really good because then you can, you can manage your risk very nicely. Just don't treat it like a video game where you blow up accounts and reset and reset and reset. So I was thinking short, but we couldn't get under that, you know, our 68.21 and three quarters, couldn't get underneath it. So it is telling us that the bid is there, right? There is a bid there. It's funny that bid was there a couple of days ago. Very strange. Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah, I just trade funded accounts, Stuart, if I were you, for now, till you get the hang of it, right? No need to spend all your money, right? They're great because they teach you discipline. You have to follow somebody else's rules, which a lot of people hate, but it's keeps you from losing money. Yeah, that overnight high was a nice stop run. I was in a meeting and I missed it. That's okay. Now, because it's Monday, because we're opening on a gap down, I have no idea what kind of order flow is going to come in. So when that happens, you'll hear me say, "Ah, just chill out. Wait for the large traders to tell you where the buying is and where the selling is." And I always stick to that. It's just a lot easier for me to manage my risk, and it's also less stressful. I don't like trading um, stressed out. I don't find any joy in it. I know a lot of people do, but I'm not one of those people. Um, I'm not, the Red Bull crowd. Uh, don't want to have a heart attack. So I tend to kind of chill, take a trade here, take a trade there, make a little bit, And as soon as I start trading badly, I stop. That's just me. Now, you don't have to trade the way I do, right? You don't have to. Everyone's got, you could be Daddy Warbucks trading, $20 million in a cash account. That's cool. But for me, especially with my clients, the people I trade for, they've come to expect uh, reliability. There's profitable trading, there's unprofitable trading, and then there's reliable trading where you make a little bit here, you make a little bit there. It's not exciting, right? Doesn't really sell a lot of marketing courses. People want to be dazzled, right? People want to be lied to, right? But I won't lie to you folks. No point. I like nice, boring trading. Hey, what's going on, Bow Hunter? How you doing? Like right here, I don't really see a trade, right? I was thinking of a short if we were under 25 down to 21. Not really working. We're going to open in 12 minutes here. Hey, 3 points a day to start out with. Look, if you can consistently make 3 points a day, I know it's $150 on one contract. But if you can get consistent, make 3 points a day on three contracts, that's $450 a day, and that's $9,000 a month. Before expenses. I could tell you something. There's not a lot of retail traders making $9,000 a month consistently. You know, that's why everyone's like, JJ, I want to hold trades for 20 points. And every once in a while, we get people come in the room and they're like, yeah, I'm short here and I'm holding it for 3 hours. Now, we've got a couple of guys who can do that because they have the accounts to do it. But of a lot of the ones who do that, they do great for like a week and then they disappear. And we saw that happen a couple of months ago with one of our friends. He was just pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and then all of a sudden he just disappeared. Um, and when they disappear, they've blown up their accounts or they've taken a big hit. I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't have to make all my money today. I can make a little today, a little tomorrow. The next day, maybe I don't make any. So, as long as I don't lose a lot. Oh, you're in Switzerland. Oh, cool. I've hidden a lot of short positions in your country, Ramon. Yeah, and commissions aren't bad nowadays. My God. Actually, commissions are cheap. Yeah, $3 a mini. I mean, you can't go wrong. Geez, I mean, when I was trading and I had clients, you know, on the desk, I mean, wouldn't get out of bed. Our ticket charge was $20 a ticket, and we used to charge 3.5 to 5%. If you were using the firm's money, we'd go full pull. We'd charge you 5%. So on $100,000 trade, my commission was 5 grand. You know, different times, different times. It was nice. You could make 10, 15, 20 grand a day in commissions. You had enough clients running trades. I think we're going to take another run at that overnight high. Let's see what we do. We've got 8 minutes. Let's see what the pre-market looks like in the wide world of equities. Apple 259 pre-market. There's a seller 261. That is not surprising. AMD. This is a lot of Here's what's very curious. Last week and the week before, we had a lot of short covering. And they put that out in Bloomberg. I put the article in the JJ commentary section. Um, let's see if that short covering holds and translates into more buying. Same thing with Amazon. Big short covering on the way up. ASML, same thing, short covering. Broadcom, short covering. So when you get these big moves up, what you guys want to look at and say, oh, where are they going to sell into it? Like, say I bought BlackRock at $920. I know there's going to be a seller up here at 1,018, right? Because the inventory is trapped long above that. So think about those things. Gold. Google, same thing, short covering. Does that short covering hold? Does that bring in more buying? Goldman, the hood. Intel, look at Intel go. Not bad for those people who bought stock at 23, 20, 28 in Intel when they did that securities purchase agreement. Wow, look at that. Nice run up to 62. Nice run. Meta still with the short covering. There is supply above 632 in Meta. Good old Microsoft. Microsoft is trading a little heavy. There was some short covering. They sold into it. There's a lot of supply. There's like a year worth of supply up here. This is a weekly chart. Over 398. So that's going to need some time to clean out. Leather jacket guy once again pulls it off. Back over 180. I was looking for this, but it just turned. This is a sticky stock. This is very, very good buying retention. If you don't know what buying retention is, right, it's probably something you guys have never heard of, the concept of buying retention. If you want to learn concepts like this, and if you want to learn how to trade with common sense in a simple way, come check us out at thetradingsyndicate.org. We will be having a raffle this week. It's either this week or next week, where you can win a one-on-one coaching session with me. So if you're interested, please sign up. We've got 3 days for free. Palantir, we're right in this huge cost basis. I think it's just going to go sideways here for a while. Stock needs to clean up. Oh yeah, and good old Tesla. Tesla 348 is what I'm looking for. Do we get above 348 or below? Most of the positions underneath 348. Okay. There we go. Taking out the overnight high. I think TBD that's for. I'll ask Steve. I think that was for people who were who had just signed up, but you're fairly new too, aren't you? I don't know. Let me ask. I'll find out. Oh, and in other news, somebody finally answered the question that I asked 5 years ago. What was that? See, most people don't even know. See, I always ask people, I used to do this exercise, and not a single person has actually answered me. Right? They give like one line answers and stuff like that. It's all wrong. Right? And the assignment is I give you 150 million shares of a stock. The stock trades at 10 cents a share. If you're lucky, it trades 1,000 shares a day. What do you do? I even put a hint. I put a video hint in the JJ commentary area. Nobody even watched the video, right? Not a single person in 5 years out of thousands of people. Yeah, no, it's no dip and cut supply. No, that's no. It's more than a one-line answer, my friends. It's more of a business plan, right? What do you do, right? No, you can't write options on it. Dustin, you're close. You're close. Oh, yeah, you cheated. The reason why I asked that question, I put it to you guys, is I try and figure. Teaching people is difficult, especially when these people don't know anything about the business. So I try and figure out how you guys think. Once I know how you guys think, then I can help teach better. Once I understand how people think. It's good. The AI is programmed not to let you get arrested, Alexander. That's handy. So remember, folks, inventory is 100% short. That's why you're seeing these bids. Right? I will be looking. The gap fill will be Friday's low at 68.46 quarter. Yeah, like I said, Spam, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for somebody to DM me a business plan. There we go. Check out that open, eh? Right off the overnight high. Now, if you are long, remember it's very unpredictable up here. As you get close to a gap fill, you will get sellers. They're the sellers already, right? You can see them pumping in here in the 39s and the 38s. What we want to do is wait till it backfills down to 35. Let's see if we can get down to 35. Give it a little bit. We're still in the first minute. Here we go. We're going to test that 35 bid. Here we go. There's that 35 bid. See how strong it is? Let's see if it's strong at all. Right? So if you're long 35, 36, get your sell orders out because there's going to be a seller when we get up here to 37 and change. Right? They were there before. So don't take it for granted. that we will hold the overnight high. That's why I like to look below and fail, because then the sell orders are done. So if you are long, right? You see how there's sellers all over the place here. I prefer the large traders to go through this and pave the way. Make sure you're a seller, my friends. Don't wait for an invitation if you're long, eh? Don't wait for an invitation. This is a risky trade on the long side. We're breaking that overnight low. So if it breaks the overnight low, don't go long until it comes back up and reclaims it. And this is not an A plus setup, right? Just remember that. So when it's not an A plus setup, basically what it means is you've got to be quick. You got to be really quick. And say I was long 36 and it broke those 35s, I'm gone. I'm gone, I'm gone, I'm gone. Now if you're shorting here, right, your reference is the overnight high. So say you're short 32, 33, right? You're shorting because you see a seller. I would go, I'd go put some bids down here at 29. I'd bid the 29s and see if you can get any product. There you go. If you're short 32 and 3/4, go put a bid in, see if you can get covered, right? Because if you can't get covered, you're going to have to pay up, right? Always short when you see a seller. You don't want to short the front side of the move. You want to short the back side because the sellers have shown themselves. So you know there's a seller here. Now we're coming up to that overnight low. It's probably going to creep back above it. Let's see if they sell into it at 37. Or can we not hold the overnight high? Sorry. A little patience here goes a long way. Right? There is a 37 seller, so if you're long, respect that there's sellers at 37. Watch the offer. These are tricky trades. I would not go size in with these trades. If I'm trading this, I'll be trading this on a couple of micros just to screw around. And if I get stopped out a couple of times, I'll stop trading because it's not at all reliable, the order flow here. So once again, if you're short off the 33s, the 34s, put your bids in. Get your bids in, my friends. Pay yourself, pay yourself, pay yourself. Right? Short 33 and a half on a couple. I'll cover 32. I don't care. Right? I'll buy them back at 32. That's fine. Right? I like to scalp the open to see what the order flow is like off the open. It's like putting dipping your toe in the pool to see whether or not, you know, it's worth going in. If you're still short, put some buy orders in at 29 and a half, 29 and 3/4. It'll be a little bit of a response there because there's a grouping of candles there. There you go. And if you're still short, next area I would bid would be 27. And then, of course, this area here between 23 and 25. So overnight inventory short, but we are seeing selling because we are opening on a gap down. Little bit more difficult to trade this kind of a dynamic. Now, what I would do, say you're looking to short at the lows, wait till this candle does some short covering and look where they sell into it. Watch. When you get a nice big green candle, what I'm looking for, are they going to sell into it here or are they going to sell into it under 32? And that's how you trade in a tactical manner, right? If you're trading in a tactical manner, right, your risk is very managed because once you spot where the seller is, you can sell alongside and put your stop above that if you're fast. If you're not fast enough to do that, that's fine, right? You don't have to, right? Remember what I said about those 27 bids? There they are. So now let's see if you get that 33 seller. So if you're shorting 32 against that seller, right? Go put some 30 and a half bids in, see if you can get covered. If you can't get covered on a short sale, right, just for a couple of contracts, you're not, you know, it's not going to work, right? You need that offer to move down. You need sellers to put the price on sale. If sellers don't put price on sale, you're going to have a hell of a time covering at a cheaper price, right? Make sense? Anyone? You guys awake? Watch, let's see if it offers over 33. Then the next offer up will be here, right? That's where they're going to sell the next time. You're supposed to be. That's for later, spam. That's for later. Now, do we have that seller at 35? Do we have that seller at the overnight high? Mm. Back and forth here. I got to say, I'm short biased. I'm very, very short biased. Let's see if we can stay under 33. If we start taking out the top of that 34 and a half candle, My bias might change, especially if we get back above the overnight high. Let's see where the next candle opens up. So say you're shorting the 32s, right? So I shorted 32, what am I short? 32.63, right? Go and put some buy orders in, right? Your stops are going to be up here, right? These aren't A plus trades, right? And if you scratch, you scratch, right? If it takes out the top of that candle, you're gone because it's going to go straight up to 36, right? And if it sticks that overnight high, then you're in trouble, right? Right? If it sticks that overnight high, you're in trouble. That was a nice little stop run. Now let's see if we can come back. You can always short it again, right? I don't like adding to a short once it starts getting out of hand. That's just me. Yeah, I learned this whole scalping thing a long time ago. When I was working at the brokerage firm, we were on the trade desk, and everyone was doing U.S. business. What do you mean out of hand? Start losing money, Leslie. I don't like letting shorts get out of hand, especially in this market. You know what can happen. You get one big green 20-point candle. So if I shorted 32 and a half, and on that big green candle, once it took out the 33s, I covered, right? I was out. You know, just I don't mind scratching a trade. I don't want to be offside 3, 4 points. The next candle opened and take me out another 3, 4 points. Especially in this market, you know what happens. Especially when inventory is short. That's what I mean out of hand. Now I'm cheap, right? So out of hand for me means a couple of points offside. Out of hand for you might mean 10 points offside, you know? So does that make sense? Cool. Yeah, and for me, scalping, there was this, we were in Vancouver and there was a Montreal brokerage firm called Levesque Beaubien, and they were like 30 or 40 people who were like, we used to call them grinders. They'd come in and they'd trade for a couple of $100 here, a couple of $100 there, and everybody kind of made fun of them because they were like, everybody else was concentrating on making 200 grand a month, half a million a month, doing deals, doing this. These guys just quietly came in and made 3, 4, $500 a day. Some of them were making 1,000 a day. Sometimes they wouldn't make anything. And they were very nice people. They would, sort of very humble people. And I tell you something, whenever one of the hot shots blew up and needed to borrow 100 grand, guess where they went to? They went to the scalpers because the scalpers were always flush. They always had cash. Right? Anyone see Rounders? They were all like guys like Joey Knish, you know? Yeah, the I'm going to add to the short. I don't know. I've never added to a short and had it work out. There's one I missed here. I should have been short 33. 32, 33. I should have been short 32 against that 33. Right? Every time all those poker players blew up, where'd they go to? They went to that guy to borrow money. He always had cash, right? No cashmere sweater, right? Exactly. Ray, I don't know if he's got time right now. He's building that prediction markets thing. Um, he's trading. Uh, I don't know if he plays poker anymore. I'm sure he does when he has time. But I don't think he does it like seriously anymore. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no problem, Young. And what you can do, if you want, you can join our room. You can join it for 3 days for free. Check it out, and if you decide to stay, it's only 19 bucks US. So we don't charge an arm and a leg. We like to keep the price affordable so people have time to learn. It's going to take some time. And if you have no idea what you're doing or how day trading works, that's great because you don't have any bad habits. So, welcome. You know, the longer most people have been trading and the longer that they haven't been profitable, they'll have piled up a lot of bad habits. And it's really hard to get rid of bad habits. I know. I've had quite a few. Oh, see, look at that bid. Look, there's that big green candle. Those are the worst. If you short at the wrong time and you get caught in that big short covering candle, it's just a pain. It's just an absolute pain. That's why I haven't taken any trades after that last one. Yikes. Now let's see if we can. What the hell's going on? There must have been some kind of news out. If we hold the overnight high, we're looking for a gap fill. Flex. Oh yeah, you can't hear me. Somebody type check your audio settings. Long 38. I'm sorry, long 40, and I'm flat at 44. Gap fill. Gap fill, huh? Jesus. Once again, unbelievable. You notice this market, it takes a while. The lower gap, the gap ups, they don't get filled. The gaps down, they get filled pretty quick. Pretty quick. So now we are in 8 times cost basis. Buying retention. I don't even know. I mean, I'm sure some news sparked it. Right, so there's 4. These are the ones from Friday. So what these boxes are, folks, they're just cost basis lines. That's all they are. They help us determine, do I want to buy at 8 times the cost or do I want to short? Sometimes we have no choice but to buy. Look at that. Now, if we correct inventory all the way, we'll go and tickle the close from Friday. How do you like them apples, eh? Look at that. Crazy market. You guys aren't posting news. There must have been some kind of news. Unless that was a complete inventory move. Yeah, there's got to be some news. Where's good old CL? Yep. Trust the charts. Trust the charts. All right, coming back out of the overnight range. Nice one, Raj. Nice one. This could be a look below and fail of 44.5. I will wait for the next candle. I won't touch it until now. It's not a look below and fail of 44.5 yet. Oof. Thanks, Supra. Cool. I knew it had to be some kind of news. So algos are pretty quick, eh? Thanks, Alex. I wouldn't take a long until we reclaim Friday's low. That's just me. I tend to be a much more cautious trader because I've got a lot of war wounds, right? I tend to be a little bit more on the cautious side. You can see that there's a seller at, where is it there? 44.5. So I'd be much more interested in a long over 46, 47. Because you know there's a seller here, right? There's a seller right at 46. This is an area where you, like right between two cost basis, right, from purple to gray, I'd let the large traders work that out. Because if you go long 47, right, you're going, once it goes up here and you go long, once it reclaims the previous day low, the Friday low, you can buy that, right? You put your stop in, right? If it holds, you can use 46, or if you want to be like, you know, Daddy Warbucks, you can use the low of that candle, right? Now watch, I'm watching 46. If we hold 46, you can still go long, but make sure you got your sell orders out, right? So long 47, I'll sell 48, I don't care, right? Because I know that everybody else and their dog is going to be selling too. So if we get any extension, watch that offer, right? I'm out 2, and then I'm flat. You know, a couple of points here, a couple of points there, especially when trading these kind of breakout moves. It's, I don't, you know, to get a breakout and have it work for 30 points, that's great, you know, but is it realistic? Right? Realistic trades are a big thing for me. You know, the trades, it's got to be realistic. Otherwise, if your trade's not grounded in reality, it gets really, really tiring and just mentally exhausting. There you go, Howard. 45 to 48 and a half, 3 points, 3.5 points. Now you're cooking with gas. So if we stick that previous day low, you can always buy it again. You know, you can buy the 47s. You buy that. You know there's a seller there. It's going to come back down. If it holds 46 and sticks it, you can buy that area. But just make sure that you have your sell orders out, right? You know, 47 to 49, not a bad trade, right? It's not going to kill you to sell a few contracts. This way, see the sellers right there. Right, we got to clean out that seller. See? We got enough people short underneath 46, they'll start coming in and start covering. If they don't, there you go. There you go, right? So you long 47, 47 and a half, out 49 and a half. Couple of points here, couple of points there. That's how you trade a breakout intelligently. Is it easy? Jesus, no, it's not easy. Good grief. It's not easy. But you can do it if you practice, right? And I think Tuesday, we've got a podcast. Wednesday, we will do an execution class. And, we will talk about this stuff. So that's what we do. If anyone's wondering, okay, well, JJ, what do you guys do in the room that's different than on YouTube? Well, what we do is we specialize in making sure that you can trade. So we have execution classes. We're always trying to make things better for you. And seem to be accepting in the Friday range. The podcast tomorrow is with a gentleman who is a specialist in prediction markets. That'll be interesting. It's the new thing, right? It's the new hip. Looking for the close. Oh, the podcast you can hear, it's called Confessions of a Market Maker. Let me send you guys a link. Target is the close, my friends. Just under 68.64. Close. We're close. Got up to 61 and a half. Is my mic working? Testing, testing. Am I friends with Peter Resnicek? He's been on the podcast a couple of times. We don't talk regularly. It's been years since I've spoken to him. I have a lot of respect for Peter. I'm very grateful to Peter because that's how I found out about Market Profile. Is my mic cutting in and out? It says that it's working here on OBS, but hard to tell. Yeah, we've done quite a few episodes of it, so we've been around for a bit. Now we're going to backfill, right? Take markets up, create demand, go back, fill in that demand with supply. Big thing now is, do we hold 46, right? Can we hold 46? Now, what could happen is we might just go back and forth in this area here. And that would allow the market to get rid of all of this inventory up here. Oh, thanks, Leslie. Oh, it's a big backfill. Jeez. All the way from 61 all the way down to 50 in 3 minutes. Okay, folks. Not much of a trade here. Seem to be finding bids at the 52 level. Still haven't tagged the close. Yeah, that's the thing. The nice thing is that you figured out when to take your trades, right? That's the nice thing. You know, you figured out, okay, I only trade when it does this. Yep. Ugh. This is the worst kind of trading because it's not near an edge at all. Hmm. Not much to do here, my friends. Not much to do. Sorry. No, I'm just I'm sitting here watching Howard. So, Howard, every time you want to do something, right, and it doesn't fit your trade setup, how does that turn out for you? We're in a distribution balance now, Howard. So, how does that work out for you when you start feeling like that? Bad. So now you know when the higher low thing makes you want to go long, what do? You know that you're starting to act emotionally and you get away from the computer, right? The longer you sit in front of the computer, right? I wouldn't give it more time if I were you. Given what we've spoken about in the past, Howard, I would get up and walk away because that's a trigger, right? You're very easily triggered, so don't let that happen, right? You had one good trade today. Walk away before that trade disappears. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're not meant to sit and trade for 5, 6 hours, Howard. You're meant right now at the stage in your development, you're meant to take a trade and then go away. And then come back later and take a trade. I'm not talking for everybody, I'm just talking for this particular person, right? You have to discipline, you have to have that discipline, right? You had one or two good trades already today, that's enough for you. You should not be trading any more than that. Don't listen to those people who say you need to press your edge because you're dealing with issues that they don't know about, right? Right? If you are a consistently profitable trader, right? If you are consistently profitable, right? Yeah, you could press your edge with funded trading accounts, but we need to work on the edge first. Make sense? Good, good, good. Cool, cool. Yeah, this is a distribution balance, right? You can see that we took the point of control and we've moved it up. Not the easiest to trade. Unfortunately, in this market, you're going to have instances like today where it's going to be tough trading. What I think is going to happen is we're going to do a P profile here, right? You got a P profile. I think back and forth here. If you want, draw a new balance zone and maybe trade that, see if it holds. But what I'd do right now is I'd go away. Like, I'm going to shut this down pretty soon here. And then I'll go away for a little bit, come back, and see if there's anything to be done. Ah, yes. Okay. No problem. All the trading in the overnight session. There you go. So this, my friends, this is called the TPO chart, and we use that. The TPO chart is kind of like this is like a map of the city where we are, and then when we want to trade, that's why I only have these two charts on here. I know where the references are, like the previous day low and the overnight high, and then when I want to take a trade, I'll go into this area in the 1 minute candle and get details. So like this is a map of the city. This is the map of the neighborhood we are currently in. Good questions, folks. Sorry, starting to lose the old voice here. I'm still can't get rid of this cold. Hopefully it's better. Tomorrow we'll be back to coaching. So people who haven't had a one-on-one with me, reach out and I'll try and make sure that you guys get some coverage tomorrow. We'll do some check-ins. Thank you very much. I appreciate everything, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 7:30 in the morning. Appreciate you guys. Have a good afternoon. Well, Globex is to get rid of inventory tequila. Thanks, everyone. We will see you tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful day. Trade safe out there. Bye for now.